If you do go on to enjoy today's video, do me a favour and hit that like button and of course subscribe. It really does help me out a lot. And if you want to avoid the random lottery that is FIFA points, you can go straight to the source with u7buy.com, and of course you can use the code TVM at checkout to get yourself a discount. What is going on, guys? TVM here. Welcome back to another video and another icon swaps predictions. I've done two of these. I think I've done two of these. I've at least done one for icon swaps 2. I got quite a few right, actually, which I was really surprised by because it's almost impossible to predict. But the first player on my list is going to be Jens Lehmann. Now, I forget which version of each card I have here. I've gone for only like 1 or 2 base icons, and there's a reason for it. And I've gone for a few mid, but I've gone for mainly prime, and I've got a few moments in here as well. I would be very surprised. Well, that's a lie. Nothing EA do ever surprise me anymore. But Lehmann is the first player. Moving on to SHEARER. Not great starts, to be fair, but they are sort of coinciding with the price of the current first few icons, so that's why. But it wouldn't sort of surprise me too much, if you will, if EA didn't really do an awful lot with Swaps 3 and we ended up getting some okay players but nothing too crazy. So I have included some really good ones, but I've also included, you know, Lehmann, SHEARER, GATTUSO. This is actually prime GATTUSO, believe it or not, only 89 rated. There are only a handful of cards in the game that have prime icons that aren't 90 plus rated. GATTUSO is one of them, unfortunately, and in fact GATTUSO suffers from first card syndrome. I just made that up. Basically what it means is that his base card is better than his prime and his mid, and quite possibly even his moments as well. Gianfranco Zola suffers from it. Here's Paul Scholes, 91 rated prime icon. I'm sure Manchester United fans would be interested in this for potentially, what are we saying, 6, maybe 7 tokens. I'm not sure if there's a 7 token option. I mean, it jumps from 6 to 10 for Swaps 2, but obviously EA make the rules. They can do whatever they want. They do tend to stick to patterns, but 6 tokens or 10 tokens for this Scholes, I would expect. Makalele, I think this might be the mid version of Makalele. Isn't it mad? We call it the mid, and yet there are 4. So how can it possibly be anyway? So the mid version of Makalele is 87 rated. I think it is because the base is a right mid, isn't it? So yeah, that would make sense. Not to be fair, on paper, I mean, does it look like a good card? I don't know. I'd have to look at the in-game stats, but I wouldn't want to grind more than 6 tokens for that, that's for sure. VIERI, first moments card we're going to see here, and a lot of people won't really care about this, although if it's cheap enough, I'm sure many impatient people will take it, because they'll want a prime icon moments in their club, and of course, VIERI won't cost too much to achieve, I wouldn't have thought, but you have to take everything I say here with a pinch of salt, because I'm not put a token amount next to them. I'm not going to say, oh, this guy's going to cost you XX amount of tokens, because I just don't know. Roberto Baggio up next. I would love this card. Now, we had a Del Piero in the last swap, so it would only be fair if we had Baggio. But I'm not sure. I think this is like a 700,000 coin card. So cards that are currently going for around 700,000 are in and around the 11 token mark, there or thereabouts. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him popped in. Prime LARSSON, which actually up until recently looked like a really good card, but with the introduction of certain shapeshifters and probably Carnival before, well, now that you're watching this, I'm recording this before Friday, so if Carnival is already released, then I apologise, I don't know anything about it, but LARSSON wouldn't surprise me. I don't think we've had a LARSSON card in swaps just yet. Speaking of a card we haven't had in swaps, Moments Jari Litmanen. This is the one I'm looking for. Even if they pop this in swaps 3 and say, look, you can have it, but it's going to cost you 25 tokens. I'm going to sit there, I'm going to grind 25 tokens, and I'm going to get to play with him in the last week of August. But I don't care, because he's my favourite player of all time. Why? I don't know. But either way, it doesn't look like an amazing card, so I would hope that he would be around 10 or 11 tokens. Maldini, now this is a very, very good card, and I would imagine this would be quite high. We're sort of looking around the, 14, 15 token mark, there or thereabouts. I don't know whether this card actually warrants that now. You know, it's a 92 rated icon, but it's not his best. So, does it warrant that higher token rating? I'm not sure. I actually think it would be lower than our next player, which is Moments TREZEGUET. Now, even though, again, this card looks good, he doesn't look like a 20 token player. He doesn't, I mean, does he look like a 15 token player? Just to give you an example, in Swaps 2, Zambrotta is 11, Nakata is 11, and Socrates is 11 as well. So it wouldn't surprise me to see the likes of Trezeguet be around sort of 12 tokens, maybe 13. Let's move on to George Best. This is the mid George Best, I believe. Not gone with his prime because I don't think EA are that generous. And this is, of course, me trying to preempt what EA are going to do, not what I would like them to do, you know? Like, if it was what I would like, then we'd have a lot more... we'd have better icons along the way, and we'd have more tokens available so that you could pick up more than maybe one or two. Frank Lampard is next on the list. I've obviously gone for his moments, the reason being the base and the mid are awful. The prime... I don't think is quite good enough even now. So the moments, even though again I feel like a lot of people would find fault with it, would be definitely the better icon to include out of all of Frank Lampard's, I'll say Rijkaard then, Frank Lampard's cards. Now, price-wise on this, wouldn't surprise me if they said, look, you know, 19 tokens. I think that might be a little bit on the harsh side, but wouldn't surprise me. Puyol's moments at 94. The reason I've included him, I mean, he's high up on the list because obviously we've kind of gone in order of desirability, really, apart from maybe Litmanen, who would be a little bit further down. I think I would put Baggio above Litmanen, but for me personally, he's desirable. But Puyol is that far down because he's actually around 800,000 to 900,000 coins, which isn't that bad, really, for what is quite clearly an end game centre back. So that's interesting. A player that I think that will feature, just don't know which version, is going to be Kaká. I would love to say they would include his moments or his prime, but I just don't see it. So I think this is the mid, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I've included the base Kaká. That would be a little bit silly, but again, I think this is around 700,000 coins. It might be 800k, something of that nature, but again, it wouldn't surprise me if he was around the, I don't know, what we're saying, 14, 15 token mark. I can't justify it personally. Again, I think he should be where Figo is this month, in 13. Garrincha is up there, and I think this actually could be the base. I don't know. I did this last night, and I can't remember which version of Garrincha this is. But still, whichever version of Garrincha that they put into swaps, if they do, he's bound to be a considerable amount of tokens. I mean, you're not going to get him for 10 or 11 tokens. You're going to be looking at, say, maybe 20 tokens. You know, 21 tokens is where they put Ronaldinho, his 89 rated card. So Carlos Alberto up next, another Brazilian. We're going to move out of South America in the next player. I should have broken them up a little bit, but Carlos Alberto with a 93 rated right back. I've gone for the prime here. Thought the moments might be a little bit too much. I wanted a different position, so I've gone with the right back. Again, probably 20 tokens, maybe 19 tokens. He's one of the best, if not the best right back in the game, but still. I've gone for Kenny Dalglish here. We've gone for his base. I would be unbelievably surprised if EA said, yes, you can have a Dalglish in swaps, but it's not his base. It's going to be his mid, or it's going to be his prime, or here are his moments. You know, I don't think they're that generous. I think you can expect maybe his base or his baby or whatever you want to call it, and I reckon you'll probably have to work, I don't know, 20 to 22 tokens for it, which is bad, obviously. Maradona, I mean, they've kind of got to pull out, not all the stops, but they've got to go for it really with this swaps, haven't they? We're going to be right toward the back end of the game by the time you get these players. So I've gone for Maradona here. It's quite obvious who I've got next, although there are 2 players remaining. So Maradona here with his 91 rated card. I would be surprised if we saw a better version included. I'd love it, but I would be surprised. That was going to be top end, you know, that's 23, 24. And Pele. They have to include a Pele. They really do, because Pele is the be-all and end-all. He is the best icon in the game, regardless of whether you think he is or not. He is. He is the icon, you know. This is, of course, the base version. So, again, much like Maradona, Dalglish, and so on, I would be very surprised to see a better version, because they don't want to give something away for nothing if they can help it. So, for 24 tokens or 23 tokens, which is the top end, which is what Patrick Vieira and SEM were, I think they'll probably do Pele and Maradona. RIQUELME was introduced into the game on the 3rd of March for the South American tournament, but only his prime and his moments. So what I suggested, this would effectively represent his base. Now, it might be much worse than this. Knowing EA, it probably would be, you know, 79 shooting and 82 passing with 85 dribbling or something. But what I would like to see is this as the base card available as an objective, like a milestone, and you have to work towards it. And then this card available as his mid icon within swaps 3. That's what I'd like to see. Now, whether we'll get to see that remains to be seen. Of course, you may already know of news of the base or the mid, but they are in the code, from what I've been told. That rhymed, I didn't mean it to. So whether that's, or we'll put them in the code ready for next year, or we'll get them in the code because we want to do something with the base in the mid. I mean, if they've got the rights to it, it would be a little bit silly for them to not use it as free content and say, look, work towards the base in objectives or as an SBC. We'll put the mid in swaps. You can pack the prime in the moments. Happy days. Hey, I think that's a good idea. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you have enjoyed today's video and maybe you want to speculate on a player that's going to feature in Swaps 3, feel free to let me know in the comments. If you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and until the next time, goodbye.
Football Index. The game changed. Download the app now.